So some of the things that you look at right out of the gate with this solution, it is a Microsoft Ribbon solution, the most updated version of that. And it does read PDFs in their native format. So some of the other solutions that we offer, we're converting to a TIFF. Well, this solution is going to read those PDFs in their native format. And it is a true SQL solution. So as you know, if you're an IT person, you know the benefits that a true SQL solution can bring to bear there. The other thing is this works over a network very easily. So if you're working in a true network environment, this is a perfect solution for you. So looking at that, now the other thing that we can take a look at is we'll get you used to the solution, then we'll start doing some takeoff, is everything that we're doing is going to be by the mouse, so I can move in, move out. Wherever the cursor goes, it's going to focus in on that particular area. And if I want to get you guys dizzy, I can move this thing around like that if I want to. So everything's going to be done with the mouse and keyboard as you'd expect. The other thing is it's about real estate. And by the way, if you're looking at a solution, you don't have something that you're currently working with, it's always nice to have 2 or 3 monitors. Matter of fact, I have a guy that I worked with years ago had 3 45-inch monitors sitting right in front of him. Well, you know where he went on Sunday, right, for those football games. But anyway, looking at that, it's nice to have the real estate available to you. And what we want to do is give you the capability to minimize this particular ribbon right here and open up more real estate. Now, here's the nice thing about that is any one of these particular items could be added to this quick access toolbar. I don't have many in here, but we could add more if we wanted to. But I'll open that up for the presentation. The other thing that you look at here is being able to move these particular panels around. I may want to have this guy over here, or I may want to have it located on my other monitor. Have that available there for me to see that, but always be able to place it back right where I want it. So those are the panels. We can have 4 of those panels available to us if we need them. The other thing that you look at here is the power within the solution. Might not have mentioned this earlier, but it is a multi-user environment. So if I have 5, 6, 8 people in my estimating group or estimating/project manager group that need to take advantage of this solution, I could have all of them on this page at the same time. Now, that probably would never happen, but it does give you that opportunity to do so. And just to kind of illustrate that functionality here is we have some capabilities in here that I will expose. Not all of these. You can jump into these as you go along, but maybe a layering list. Maybe I only want to see those items that are carpeting out here. It's a great way to do it. It's got a layer right in here. And if I want to get specific to an individual that's doing takeoff in here, I could go ahead, add that in. And down here, what we can do is we can build in the filtering capability as well. That multi-user environment where I can say, oh, let's show exactly what Darren's done. And what the heck is he doing takeoff out over here? Must be some change order or something going on. But here's the thing about that is it dissects and will show you and give you an audit trail of what each individual has taken off through the process of doing the takeoff on these plans. We're on this plan set right here. Well, that doesn't need to be here. Let's go ahead and get rid of him and say, okay. So a lot of functionality in these panels right here, and I'll extend that one down just a little bit. And go over here. Let's jump in. Let's do some takeoff. Now, as we look at this, what we want to do is give you the capability to start off, well, maybe with the basics. So if I go in and do a takeoff here, and maybe just hit the 4 corners of this particular room, call it good. I want to get faster than that, of course. I want to be more efficient, more effective. So now if it's a square, I can go out and drag and drop and start doing all of these particular items like that. Excellent. So it's already done. Well, maybe we want to be more efficient than that even. Now I can drag and drop these particular items down here and then move them out on the screen. Think about if you're doing a repetitive takeoff. You've got multiple floors. They're pretty much represented with the same takeoff on each floor. drag it in there, drop it out there, you're good to go. Now, I'm going to show you some other benefits of what that can do for you as well, but let's erase some of this stuff. Get rid of that. And heck, let's get rid of all of these guys up here. The other thing is of course, it is not truly a square world. Not all takeoffs are going to be that way, as we know, as we'd expect. So I may want to go into this pool area. Maybe I just want to get the linear foot around this particular pool. Easy to do. As you can see, it's going to curve right to that guy for me. And I'm using my mouse and my keyboard. It's easy to do. So now I've traced around that particular pool. I could change that to an area or a square foot. Here's the key thing is, let's go ahead and end that, is up here in the right-hand corner. So if you follow my mouse, I know it's been kind of moving around here, is point, length, perimeter, and area. We get that for every takeoff that we do. For every one of those takeoffs, that we're going to get those 4 quantities every time. But let's take it to a new level. Let's look at some more functionality that we can do. Like I said, we want the solution to grow with you as your functionality, as you get more capabilities of working with the system, familiar with the system. Familiar was the word I was looking for there. A stretch. It is Wednesday. I don't know. The words don't come as fast as they should. But when you look at this, what we want to do is have a capability to grow with the system as you become more familiar, use more functionality. So over here, what we're going to do is we're going to look at some traces now. So traces can be, of course, what I was doing on there, but named traces that you create for yourself. It's a database. And this is going to lead to something with estimating as well. So as you can see, I'm kind of building up to the climax here. But when you look at this, I want to go out and do a takeoff. But now I'm going to take off these particular walls, and I'll say, okay, a couple things I want you to notice is you're seeing a red E right there. Well, what we want to do is give you a safety net that you can depend upon. Because with this trace, we've got additional specs that we're going to be filling out. But at this point, Darren, being the guy that's doing the takeoff right here, hasn't completed that information. So I can go, oh, look at that. There you go. I've got that E right there. Or I can go out and I can look at our list of information, our full list of takeoffs. And there's that E right there as well. What that's doing is it's telling me, hey, Darren, you've missed that. Even in my review process, I've got an E that says, hey, you have not completed all the specs for that. So I'll close that window right there. And there's the E, but let's complete that. Now, as you guys know, I've got this panel over here that I can move over to my other window. Well, let's say that happened. And in this case, I would have these specs, this additional information, attributes if you come from the CAD world. And when we look at this, I want to enter those additional specs. The other thing is we want to give you a system where you can have a help. Well, I just took a picture here, but I mean, you can have verbiage or put any additional information in here. And we would have that available for new individuals coming in. Maybe we've got our junior estimator. We want to make them very productive, self-sufficient right out of the gate. So let's add some additional details to these so that we can make it easy for them to learn the system. So that's what we're looking at here. But in this case, what I want to do is I want to go through the process of entering the additional specs. These specs could be anything you designed for the system, the sheetrock, and now we're getting the track studs and drywall. Nice. So I can say okay to that. Now, let's say that we get into a situation, let's say we get into it. Of course, this is going to happen every time. We've got type A walls, type A1, so on and so forth. Well, I don't want to have to answer that information every time I do a takeoff. So let's take advantage of this, and let's call this description wall type A. So I say, okay, now I can continue my takeoff with all of those questions being answered for us. So, all done. So you can continue down that path doing all this takeoff. Now what can happen is I can move this. If this is typical, I can move this into my global, and that will happen from project to project to project. I will tell you that most of the clients use global, though, as for stamps, like approved or some of those other things that we may write on a continual basis onto the plans. So, global favorites, but it can work in any way that you want, and you can set it up in that fashion.